Percy enjoys bringing the post to Farquhar because he knows he always has a friendly face to greet him after his journey. No matter what mood Tom is in, he will always help to get the parcels into his van, and the two get on very well. One day, after it had been loaded, Tom was getting his van ready. He had parked it close to the train to save time. "See you tomorrow, Mr. Tipper," Percy called happily. "Same to you, Percy." And with that, Tom set off. Time for some tea. Watch out! Percy was quite shocked. "Oh, Mr. Tipper, are you all right?" Tom was okay, but his arm was hurt, so he was taken to hospital. Toby had to take the post up the tramway, as Percy couldn't go by himself. He was pleased the post was getting through, but he was worried for Tom all the same. He said so. "I do hope Mr. Tipper won't lose his van, or his job." "I'm sure Tom will be fine," confided Toby. "It was only his arm, wasn't it?" Thomas was quite the opposite. "I think it's time you wised up and realised that Tom Tipper is a fool, Percy. I mean, imagine doing something so daft in a situation like that." "Oh, and you're one to talk, are you, Thomas?" "Perhaps it'd be doing the post service a good thing if that Tom Tipper did get the sack." Get it? Get it? A sack? Oh, that's quite funny, actually. Oh, Toby. Oh, just get the sack. "It's not funny," retorted Percy. Thomas was only teasing, but Percy didn't like it at all. A few days later, Percy was delighted to find Tom, who had come to see him. "Oh, Mr. Tipper, I'm glad you're okay, but what's that on your arm?" "It's a cast," chuckled Tom. He explained that his damaged arm meant that he couldn't take the post for the time being, but that he'd be all right again soon. Percy was relieved. Then he told Tom about how rude Thomas had been. "Foolish indeed. Well, that Thomas sounds like he needs to be taught a jolly good lesson." Percy liked the sound of that. "Oh, yes, let's." Tom thought. Oh, yes. And he whispered something to Percy. Late that afternoon, Thomas arrived back with his passenger service. He shunted Annie and Clarabelle into the carriage sidings, then went to find some trucks. "Keep your brakes on, lads!" Go! That gets him every time. To Thomas' surprise, a local policeman had been watching him and came over with a serious expression on his face. "Everything all right, Constable?" asked Thomas Driver. "Most certainly not, sir. I couldn't help but observe the way your engine shunted those wagons just then." "But I always shunt my trucks like this," replied Thomas, who felt a little uncomfortable. "If you hadn't have had the slightest decency to brake when you did, those trucks would have plunged right through that fencing and into the station master's house." Thomas knew how that felt. "So, what are you trying to say?" "Well, according to the latest NWR manual of railway shunting procedures, tank engines must approach goods wagon slowly for the firemen to jump down to couple them to the engine." "I've never heard of a more stupid procedure." "Well, you have quite clearly disobeyed it. If this happens again, I'm giving you a penalty for improper shunting." Thomas' feelings were beyond words. The policeman let them go, and he puffed away with his trucks, rather bemused. Penalty for improper shunting? Why would the Fat Controller introduce such a rubbish rule? All the same, he kept rather quiet about it at the sheds when he returned. "So," began Toby, "how was everyone's day?" "We almost got a penalty for improper shunting," Thomas answered bluntly. Percy laughed. "I say," he said, to no one in particular, "I wonder if it'd do the Fat Controller's railway any good if some engines got shunted in the sidings, Toby." "Well," Toby pondered in a jovial way, "I can't imagine an engine ever doing something so daft while shunting trucks. Perhaps you're right, Percy." "Oh, I don't know anymore. I just don't know." "It's a cast," chuckled Toby. "Toby? Toby has broken his arm, unfortunately, everyone, so we're going to have to do that line again. Fuck a duck, this is quite difficult. I mean, not swearing. I never swear.